Alright, so after you remove your stuff and put it in, you want to have the circle on top of that. And you want to set it up like that, or just however you want. You kind of want the circle and the long thing to be as far away from the thing as, like, make it kind of look the same. Then down here, for the circle, we're gonna start with that. We're gonna start animating it at 2 seconds, and go up here to all this stuff, video, basic. Then we're gonna hit this thing, all so that it marks all of these. Then we're gonna do the same thing for this one at the same time, 2 seconds. That thing. Well, technically we don't need all that. We just need to go to mask, add a mask, make sure it's a rectangle, and then you'll get this. You're going to drag this out to the point at which you think it should, like, is good. It doesn't have to be exactly, like, super even. You just want to make it as even as possible. And over here, you're gonna click on this diamond thing. So now, they both start animating at the same time. We're gonna increase the time on this one. And we're gonna drag this thing, move it up a little bit. Then we're gonna take the side of this, move it to, so that it's like really skinny. And we're gonna drag it over to the middle, keeping it at the same height as it was before though, so it's not like that. And then we're gonna go over here, and we're just gonna hit this top button again. So now, if you want it to be faster, you can shorten it. If you want it to be slower, you can go over here, drag this thing like right there maybe, and move this thing back, like that. But we're just gonna make this kind of long. Now we're gonna increase. Alright, so instead of increasing it, we're gonna make it so that it stops halfway between there, so that it disappears. And then for the circle, we're gonna go back to the 2 mark, right in the middle. And then we're gonna go to where the other one ends. And then we're gonna make it so that the circle is over top, is in the same spot thing when it ends. So now what we have is this. Alright, it's a little fast. If you want to, you can make it longer. But now what we're gonna do is the spinny part. So we're gonna make the circle picture a little bit longer than the long form thing. We're gonna make that after a couple seconds, or a couple milliseconds. After a couple milliseconds of being here, and we're gonna turn it around. Now we're gonna go to scale, and we're gonna size it all the way down. And then we're gonna make it so that right here, it stops halfway through. Alright, so here's what we have right now. If you want to though, you can certainly make it longer. I'm going to right now. Alright, so now what we have is... But then again, if you make it longer, you still have to make sure that it ends right there, so that it looks clean when it stops. And then we're gonna grab another circle, put it a little bit in front, just like that. So that once it disappears, and then it comes up like right here. But at the start, we're gonna click this thing again. This is the thing that makes it so, like, it stays how it is, the way you set it. So now we're gonna turn this upside down, 180. Then we're gonna scale it down to 1. Now once we're like, maybe right here, we'll increase the size back to, let's see how it was. We'll increase the size back to 82. So we're gonna go a little bit ahead of this. We're going to mark everything up here. We're gonna put the zoom in as 82. And over here, we're gonna turn it back over so that it says 0. So now what we have is this. Alright, now we're gonna make the other stuff appear. So what we're gonna do now is this mark right here. Once it's here, we're gonna make this thing appear again. So we're gonna have to copy a lot of settings. Okay. Freak, dude. Alright, never mind, we're fine. So instead of that, we're gonna put it up a little bit. We're gonna grab this thing, put it about right here. But we're actually just gonna want it so that it appears at the same exact time as this thing. So they should align perfectly. There. Once they align perfectly, we're gonna wanna copy the settings for this new long form to this old one that happened right here. So it's not gonna show you all the stuff. So you're gonna click the first little diamond thing, and here's all the settings that we're gonna copy for it. Alright, so we're gonna go to here. So the first one was 80 for the zoom. Put it as 80. And for the position, I'm gonna find out what it was by clicking on this thing again. 463. Click on this, change this thing to 463. Alright, so now that we have that, we're gonna go up here to mask. We're gonna add a mask. This is on our new one, by the way. Now we're gonna have all this stuff. But we're gonna find out what the mask settings for the end part was. So instead of this one, we're gonna click on this one. So now we're gonna go up here, -94. We're gonna make sure that this is all checked off already. In a moment. Alright, we're gonna go back to this thing. 17249. Alright, so now, when we go over here, it'll spawn in then. So now we're going to go to the very beginning. We're going to check all this off. And we're going to go back to the circle. Actually, no, we're just going to keep going here. We're going to move this down the line a little bit. So I'd say right about like here. Now we're going to make this thing go, oh, like that. I'm gonna make the mask zoom out so that it shows the full watermark. And then we're gonna go over here again. We're gonna mark everything. So now we just gotta make the circle move over with it. So we're gonna go back to this part right here. And then by the time that the circle reaches to where the watermark ends, the circle is going to be back over here. And then you're going to go to basic, click that, and then we should be done. We're just going to test it first. Alright, here's what we have so far. Now we're going to make sure the circle has the exact same settings as it was before. So we're going to click on the circle, go to the first one. We're going to see 82, -1012. Then we're going to go back over here to the second circle, go to the final one, 10. Alright, we're going to make sure we copy the same settings. Doesn't look out of place. And we're going to make sure that's shortened enough over here So we're gonna crop it down just a little bit. To a certain point, you don't have to crop it down fully. And once we're like that, then we have our watermark finished. Okay, press it again so we can see how it looks on loops.